All right, so fun lesson. Um, if you don't hit go live, you don't actually start viewing anything. Fun fact, everybody. Fun fact. So, what you guys have missed in the last 20 minutes was we should be getting PagerDuty alerts. So, what you guys missed if you didn't see the first 20 minutes of the video, because I don't know how YouTube works apparently, is we added version to the config, we merged it in Git, and merged it with the changes we've made in the past week, which wasn't that much. And now, we actually have working Windows Defender alerts. You also missed Juge. I had a kitty on my lap. I has a kitty. Her name's Juge. She's adorable. So if we go to alerts, you'll notice we actually have alert data here. And if we go over to our boards, if we go to our OCRAT board, hey look, we have unremediated threats, we have alerts showing up on our host. So essentially all they say, if you look at like PagerDuty or whatever you're using as your alerting endpoint, what you're going to see is Defender, Microsoft Threat, View History. You're going to see Microsoft Defender Threat on Zeek. So you're just going to be like, hey, your AV's kind of freaking out. Go check it out. It doesn't show you like the virus name or the process name like I wanted it to. But for now, fine. We can add that in later. I can sleep at night with that. So now we are going to shut this virtual machine off and put it in a snapshot. Because we're done with Windows for a while, thankfully. So now we get to move on to something more fun. I guess we'll do war stories and announcements now. So great news, really great news actually, is I got approval to use resources at work for my day job to work on this. So that way I can get real data from some of the tools we use, or some of the tools I use in my day job, so I don't have to set them up at home, which is awesome. And B is you actually get like real usable data. I noticed when I was just doing like the theoretical in a test machine and what you would get in the wild are two completely different things, and that can influence it. I noticed it with pfSense. Like if you did from the top of the file, you would have, you know, hundreds of, I shouldn't say hundreds. You'd start off with hundreds of alerts if you started off from the beginning of your Suricata log, which goes back to when you were still tuning it versus when things have kind of chilled out after you had tuned it. And the way you would display the data when you're pulling it from the beginning of the file every time when you have 1 million alerts is different than when you have like 10. And the things you care about, you can afford to show all 10 of those. You don't need as much aggregate data because the human brain can deal with that a lot better. Right now though, for work, we're just using it for web stuff, but we eventually do plan for using it for all of our, we do plan on using this to monitor outages and SLAs and stuff like that. It's also going to help me improve alerting and influx, and maybe work on some documentation, and we can do some live streams around that, because influx has pretty okay visualization. It has really good ease of use, really easy to set up, and set up with an Ansible playbook. The templating system's amazing. Kind of falls short in alerts because they're just, influx was, we use PagerDuty and Slack. So first class citizens for alerting, PagerDuty and Slack. And since I work at an MSP, we use PSA, and there's all the other ticketing systems under the sun. But the easy one's probably just going to be setting up a mail service with an API and Teams. Because every worthwhile ticketing system under the sun supports Teams. So that's good news. A good war story and a feature that I haven't heard get talked about enough for InfluxDB is being able to turn alerts on and off. So I committed a bug in Ansible because it turns out not every OS enumerates systemd services the same. And I wanted to say, hey, if you've created this service before, don't worry about it. You don't need to do it. Just a little more minimal and prevents issues from coming up where like the service only existed since the start of Unix time. However, that was causing alerts for everything to go off. So that was fun. And I decided instead of trying to save the service from restarting, I just ended up saying, hey, try to restart every 5 minutes. Because one-shot services can retry in systemd. So if you want to see an example of that, cat etsy systemd system Ansible pull desktop dot service, and it should have pulled down. Yeah. Let me put on the Boomer profile and move it up screen a little bit. So this is what you would see, is that if it fails, try again in 10 minutes. So that way, if it's like there's too much I/O going on in the hypervisor at the same time because every VM's updating at the same time, if you wait 10 minutes and only one of the machines goofed, it should prevent that problem from happening. Hooray! So now, let's go back to web server stuff. Oh, yeah, that might be a problem. Past 24 hours? That's rather strange. Windows. Huh. Past 7 days? Let's look into something. CD, Etsy, Telegraph. So that should be right. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Might end up changing the title of this video. I definitely feel like I'm at a good stopping point. I want to play with OpenSense more. So let me pull up, and I'm just going to do this on my prod OpenSense machine like a maniac. 10.0.0.1 root. Should do this in a lab machine, but kind of don't like double nat. Dude, this song's awesome. Squirrel, sorry. Shout out to no copyright sounds, by the way. Ignore FS, disk mount points, disk IO, memory, processes, swap PF. I like that you can do they have the ZFS stats in here. That's really cool. So I don't want to do that. So what I want to do is Penguin things, OpenSense, plugins. I need to figure out where the plugin data is for Telegraph and where this file gets generated. Where that is that's a wonderful question for DuckDuckGo. Let's see if he knows, if the quacky guy knows. Our OpenSense plugin stored. So they looked at the development documentation, and building it from scratch sounds pretty terrible. There's a cat on my desk now and it's kind of awkward. Plugins? I'm trying to figure this out. This is hard. Let's start off with an easy victory. That would be SSHing into the firewall first. So what we're trying to do is etc, and I'll rekey my OpenSense after this. So user local etc, crap, etc telegraph. Is it user or is it just etc? Find etc, find int / telegraph.conf. No. That didn't help? Or I think you just used locate. There we go. Locate telegraph.conf. Aw. Oh, cd etc. It's not etc. User local. Oh, I think it's just user local etc telegraph.conf. User local etc telegraph. Yeah, telegraph.conf. Root and wheel have read write. Oh. Jesus. So right now there's nothing really for Suricata in here. So to fix that, we want to have the plugin do inputs.suricata. And then what we want to have it do is open OpenSense suricata.conf. Have it tag everything. Dude, that feels so good to have copy paste actually work correctly, because it definitely doesn't in WSL for Linux. It boggles my mind when I hear people say like, oh, WSL is just going to replace everything for Linux and Linux is doomed. It's like, dude, they can't even copy paste a comp file right. We got a minute. It makes life easier for people who can't use, like, who can't get a real Linux experience. The experience is better than PuTTY. I will give it that, and having a customized terminal is pretty nice. But as far as user experience goes, Plasma's way better, or Console's way better, GNOME Terminal's better. Yeah, copy paste actually works. Also, hi Shelby in chat. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bringing friends. Don't forget to like the video. Feel free to ask questions in chat, make requests for what I need to work in and spend time on. So now that that's there, and now if we do service restart telegraph, I don't FreeBSD. So what I will do is go to system in another tab, or you should just be able to do, I love this about OpenSense is the services feature, is that you can go to certain menus. Systems, services, where is it? Anyway. I'll open up the lobby in a new tab and restart Telegraph so I don't show you guys my IP. Go to the lobby, dashboard. Dashboard's really pretty too. But yeah, there is a problem if I show you guys that information. So now I need to figure out where this data gets generated from, and that's going to be the tricky part. It's kind of where I'm at with the OpenSense stuff. So is it in Etsy? What is in Etsy? DH parameters. Nope. var? Backups, account, audit, games, HA proxy. HA proxy. I just got triggered. Setting up HA proxy on OpenSense was pretty terrible, to be honest. I wonder if you go to, like, the firmware? Let's go to firmware. Settings. Updates. Packages. So this shows all the licenses, but it doesn't necessarily show where it's installed. But that's the package itself, not the plugin, because that has like bind, Brawley, clog, and all the stuff you don't actually use. So let's go to plugins, then search for Telegraph. Info. Crap, it didn't show where it lives. Wait a minute. Nope. So cd var dub. Doesn't have a dub. Opt? There's no opt. Okay. cd/serve. ls / there we go. Mount proc rescue root sys ls user source. Nope. User share. Games, calendar, dict, man. Zone info now. What's in conf? So the cheater way would be to load the config in here. There's probably a ton of stuff in the config XML I shouldn't show on stream, so let me double check there's nothing too nasty in there. Nano config. No. So what I'm knowing about is, so Telegraph is configured via XML. So that's kind of the issue with that. Telegraph. Source. What was the other one? So we need to figure out where this Ginger file lives. And that other file. I want to just like make the pull request and kind of see what happens. But I think that'd be kind of rude, and this isn't the only config change I want to make to Telegraph and OpenSense. So we're going to keep digging. We will keep digging. Yeah. So we have to figure out where this template ends up. I wonder, OpenSense, additional software, current list of available plugins, how the plugins repository clean. Installs in the target directory. OpenSense documentation. See if the documentation is actually useful for something. Documentation. Telegraph. So that shows the API info, which isn't like useful at all. Examples, how-tos, project relationships. So we don't necessarily care about the API. Because all this really shows is model key XML. Telegraph key configuration. So that shows the source. Architecture. Event config D service application. Creating models. Designing the model usage example. User share. Alright, so ls user local. Sorry, I'm used to ZSH. Alright, so let's ls service. More like a service templates maybe. Also, this, by the way, is like my OpenSense box I use to get internet, so this could make things interesting for the stream. We'll see. Might be spicy. LS service templates. We got him. think we're getting close anyway. There we go. There we go. Okay. Why I'm happy. Is that these are the two files I need to edit, and hopefully I should be able to edit these live, load the Telegraph plugin, and things should be good. Should be good. Should. My way for getting myself out of this jam is keep an old copy going. And yes, I might break the internet to anybody in the audience that might be affected by this. I'm not sorry. Also, this song is also a banger. Thank you, No Copyright Sounds. You guys are amazing. Okay. So yay, randomly clicking around the documentation got me somewhere. I didn't think it would, but I'm okay with it. I am most definitely okay with it. Service. Cat, what the hell's in targets? Okay. Okay. So if I'm understanding what's going on here correctly, targets is what actual files on disk are affected by this, or by these templates, and then Telegraph is God knows what. If helpers exist, OpenSense Telegraph general enabled. User local OpenSense script Telegraph setup.sh. There's some shenanigans afoot in there that I need to figure out, because I think that's like what will actually plop the Telegraph config on disk. So yeah, I have to figure out what that's all about. And then the Telegraph comp file. Just, yeah, crap. And what all of this garbage is it looks like it's a Jinja template. I'm not sure if Twig's just deceptively similar to Jinja, but basically, this is where I would put, hey, if helpers exist, OpenSense Telegraph, do this. So if this thing exists, do that. So I need to figure out where the OpenSense input helpers are first, I'm pretty sure, and then I would put out the other thing on disk. So dude, there's some pretty solid EDM. There's like a bunch of really good low-cost EDM. Low cost is in like low cost to license, because the Monster Cat stuff is like a $15 a month subscription or something stupid cheap. And then No Copyright Sounds is no copyright, so free 99. I need a coaster, if anything, more for the viewers than for my desk. All right. So we need to figure out where helpers are. So we need to decipher what this is. And to help me with that and keep all my mind to brain squared away, live telegraph config is in user local telegraph, or right? Maybe. Cat user local. Let's see. It's user conf because it doesn't have the included config because FreeBSD doesn't like includes. I don't know if that's a pfSense OpenSense thing or a FreeBSD thing. Thanks for eating the coaster at me. Yep, so user local. Also could have dropped that out of targets. Live or files affected by the plugin. The next thing we need to figure out is why isn't this song on my no copyright playlist yet? Nah, but seriously. Targets. 1, 2, 3. Not money. Got money on the mind, apparently. Need to become a Patreon show. Alright. Targets. User local. Plugin root. This makes sense in my head to put this in a header. Alright. Plugins is the files affected by the plugin. Telegraph.conf is Jinja? I think that's how you spell Jinja. No, it's not like Degent. Jinja template for telegraph file. And then thingy-ma-bobber. So this is what I need to figure out now is the cat telegraph. Is what the hell these helpers are. So I wonder if I go up a couple directories to OpenSense. And if there's helpers here, maybe? Nope. LSMVC. App scripts tests. No. Because I think MVC script. Yeah, that's not it. Changelog contrib data scripts. Modules, templates, conf. Nope. Clear ls. Modules? Add-ons init, PyCache, no. Nope. Definitely not that. Gosh. This is brutal. This is tough. This is definitely tough. Yeah. I'm honestly happy with this amount of progress tonight, and I think I need to go eat here pretty soon, so cut the stream off here. We'll do more OpenSense stuff next week probably, unless all of a sudden I get a bunch of time at work to play with this and I have cool stuff to show you. So, nice hanging out. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to check everything out in the doobly-doo. Don't forget to check out my affiliate links, and if you do need help with either your InfluxDB, your Mesh Central, Ansible playbook needs, or if you just need somebody to host all this cool stuff for you, go to shiftsystems.com and fill out the contact form. I'm done chilling. Have a good night. I hate this part.